Hello, everybody. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of August 7th through the 14th. So happy August. Happy full Leo season. Where were we last week with the Page of Cups? The one thing I didn't mention in the past couple of weeks with the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups, and I can't recall what we had before that, maybe the Hangman, is that when the court cards come up, we are usually talking about other people. So the court cards represent aspects of ourselves, but they also, especially when there's a group of them, represent some kind of relational dynamic, some kind of interpersonal dynamic. So when we had the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups, yes, that's talking about the aspect of you that walks into the room full confidence and the aspect of you that is seeking to be romanced and in awe of the world. But also back to back together, they also are indicating other people. So you might have noticed over the past couple of weeks that other people, they're always around, right? We can't escape the people. But there's something about maybe certain relational dynamics, certain people, the texture of those relationships, the quality of those exchanges getting highlighted. So having some sense of who else shows up in a Queen of Wands energy. Does that feel good? Do you like that? Is that something that you want to come closer to, or something maybe you need some boundaries with? The Page of Cups, that's lovely, romantic. And at the same time, is that something you want? Well, that sounds really good. It can be not where you are. It can be not where your head's at. And so there can be a sense of, do I want that energy closer to me or do I want it further away? Something like the Page of Cups can be, again, like lovely, youthful, romantic, dreamy, poetic energy. And if that's all that's there, then that can feel unsafe, or it can feel not rich enough, not deep enough. It can feel not thin per se, but dreamy, foggy. So we just have an awareness of how other people's energy is impacting us. What parts of other people are getting kind of highlighted and activated in our presence. It goes back to that human design thing of certain people are going to draw out certain qualities in us, and just becoming aware of that. So there's probably some beautiful learning in that, and maybe there's some learning in that of, oh, that's not maybe bringing out the best in me, or that's not giving me the full nourishment that I need. Or yes, I love that part, but I also am seeking something more multidimensional or more rich. Or noticing that you might have a relationship in which someone's relating to you as the Page of Cups or the Queen of Wands. And while that worked for a while, it doesn't work anymore. Page of Cups, an example would be a child in your life, someone who you love, or someone who has really youthful, fun energy in your life. And that's been great. That's great. And now you come to a point where you're like, well, that's adorable. And I love that about you. I also need to see the Queen of Cups in you. I also need to see the King of Cups in you. I also need to see the King of Swords in you. Like, I need to see a fullness around your expression in regards to our relationship that maybe I didn't need before, maybe I wasn't aware of before. You also might notice where certain characters, certain energies are impacting how you show up. So like the reverse being true, and saying, well, I love that this draws out my, gentle, playful, poetic side. And yet that might not be, I might, again, want something more multidimensional. So we love the court cards because they help highlight aspects of ourself that maybe need to be worked with or understood or played with or metabolized or integrated. And they also highlight how the kind of characters other people are showing up in, and help us kind of have the contrast to say, oh, that's working for me, that's not working for me. Oh, that feels really good and nourishing to me. Or no, I'm actually looking for something a little bit more robust, again, more multidimensional. Nobody is one thing. Nobody is a character. And yet when we relate to people, we often put them into narrative categories. And I'll just say again, for the 100th time, in this Wheel of Fortune year, the stage is changing, the sets are changing, the players are changing. So maybe you've gotten used to someone playing, the Queen of Wands in your life, and all of a sudden they step on the stage and they feel like playing the Knight of Cups this time around. And so you're just going to notice this, the way the sets are changing, but so are the costumes, so are the characters, and you are changing. And one of the ways you recognize how you're changing is in contrast, right? Is in relationship, is in, oh, I used to know how this felt, and now I show up and it feels a little bit different. What is that teaching me? What is that asking me to access in myself? So there's something interesting just to note, as I'm doing right now, that when we get 2 court cards back to back, I wasn't really consciously thinking about this over the last 2 podcasts, but it's important. When we get these 2 court cards back to back, there's definitely a highlight, a relief on the characters in our life, the roles that they're playing, and how satisfying, enlightening, inspiring, or draining and confusing those roles might be. And either way, what wants to evolve, what wants to become, both in our sense of expression and in the people in our lives' expression, and then how we engage together, how those roles meet each other. Obviously, we would like to live in a way in which we are fully expressed and fully transparent, and there are no masks or roles. And I also don't know how realistic that is, just based on human psychology, based on our makeup, and based on the idea that we do inspire different qualities in each other, and our relationships do have different strengths and different things that they highlight and draw out in us, and both good and bad. And instead of thinking about that as something to necessarily transcend or evolve beyond, thinking about that as something that's just rich for curiosity and learning. And again, does this feel good? Does this feel like an expression that serves me? The card I pulled for us this week is the Sun card, which is so lovely. Again, like, everyone's always happy to see the Sun card. Literally the card of solar energy. So get yourself out in the sunshine this week, enjoying the heat, the August, the Leo season. I will say that because we've talked about this over the past couple of weeks, there is a lot of yang energy around. There's a lot of solar, masculine, forward momentum, driving energy around. So while the sun is nearly always a positive card, there is a sense of Icarus, maybe just being respectful of the heat of the sun, being respectful of just how strong this energy is. This is the source of life on Earth, right? Don't forget. My dad used to always say, don't turn your back on the ocean. It was one of his famous teachings in terms of growing up on the water. Growing up on the water in Maine, right? The surf there would get really dramatic. And when we were in Portugal this past couple of weeks, I said that to Griffin 100 times, because you need to always respect the power of the ocean. You are never in control there. You are never completely sure of what's going to happen next. And while the sun is different, it's not that different. It's a powerful force in our universe. It gives life to the earth. It keeps us fresh and alive and invigorated and well and warm. And so we want to have respect for that, not take that for granted, not underestimate the power of that. A couple of years back, I still don't have any tattoos, but every day I'm like, I think I know. And the first tattoo I almost got was Solio, which is a Nordic rune, and it's the rune of lightning and the sun. And I spoke with a woman who specializes in rune tattoos, and she was like, valid. She goes, that it's a beautiful, empowering tattoo. She's like, but it's also pure solar energy. So if you already run high energy, the solio, the power of that is it will kind of burn right through you. It's never going to cease to burn. And there's that with the sun energy. So I don't want to like throw it off course, because the sun is traditionally known as the happiest card in the deck. And what we heard in the long form August podcast, which I know is running late, is that there's something about tempering that solar energy with gentleness. And really, it's the sense of the sun is direct illumination, clarity. And there can be a way in which we're seeking that out of time. What do I mean by that? I mean that our culture, our anxiety, our egos really want to know what's next. We really want to know what the plan is. We really want to know what our purpose is. We really want to know what we're building towards. We really want to know that things are going to be okay. And this came up a lot with the Huntress in Mystic Rising. But this idea of controlling for outcome, it's one of the most beautiful and most anxiety building things that humans do. And there's something about the solar energy that, it's so interesting, this is what's coming up, but it's like, of course the sun is good. Of course clarity is good. Of course direction is good. And it is. But we don't want to forget that we're in the strength moon month. And so the moon energy is also in the atmosphere with us. And it's interesting, the sun and the moon and the eclipse season. So this could also be speaking to just kind of the confusion of eclipse season, meaning that we kind of take for granted that the sun is the one that shows the way. And it is. The sun is beautiful. So of course the sun is the one that shows the way, and the sun is warmth, and the sun is brightness and the clear light of day. And don't be confused that that's the only way forward, because the messaging we've gotten over this past month is, yes, lots of yang energy, lots of alpha, direct, solar, masculine, driven, all like beautiful, powerful things. And there's something about the detours right now. There's something about not staying on the main path. There's something about the thing that's pulling you off course. And there can be a part of you that's like, dude, I don't have time for this. I can't get off course. This is just like, it's not part of the plan. It's inefficient. It's not helpful. And yet still, there's a little bit of this fogginess. Like, why am I over here? I'm supposed to be over there. And so just remember the power of the moon card. It's the dream space. It's the moonlight. It's the shadows. It's the things that you can't quite grasp, and yet you're pulled towards it. You're called towards it. The gravity of it, the moon pulling on the tides, pulling on our bodies, the desire to howl at the moon. Like, the moon is evocative. It's pulling something from you. The solar energy is feeding you. It's like charging you up. And the moon energy is evoking something from you, pulling you towards a different way. And so we just want to kind of have this awareness around the solar, the force that wants to propel us, so kind of to feed us so that we can move. And then the moon, which is kind of tugging at us. And it's a more subtle sensation. And it's definitely not celebrated in our culture, right? We can talk all you want about intuition, about spirituality, but go on Instagram, go on any of these social media places, any place that people talk about spirituality, so much of it is still extractive. So much of it is still, are you good enough? So much of it still preys on this idea that if you change, you'll be better, that there's some fundamental flaw with you that money and training can erase, fix, transform. The moon does not agree with that. The sun doesn't agree with that either, FYI. But that desire to self-propel and charge up enough to get it done, that like on purpose all the time energy, that's what she was talking about when she said about that tattoo. At your own risk, tattoo that on your skin, because what you're saying is, I'm going to permanently be charging. And while that, again, sounds good and the culture would applaud that, and that's all about hustle, and that's all about capitalism, and that's all about making it work, there is something in that can go into overdrive, that can be actually depleting, that can kind of run us dry. And there's something about the moon and moisture, so the moon's quiet darkness and that evocative, what is she pulling from you? Where is she pulling you to go? What is she drawing out, and what is she drawing you like through to, is part of what maybe we should be paying attention to. So again, sun card, happiest card in the deck, says to me there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of heat, a lot of warmth, a lot of you want to go to the beach, this is a great week to go to the beach, right? This is a great week to swim in the ocean. This is a great week to feel a little bit, crispy from a day in the sun. Great week for celebration, a great week for connection. And there's something about, if you're not moving in a straight line, or if you somehow find yourself in detour or off course, or even confused about where the path is, that's okay too. What I would say to you with the sun card is, the sun card is less about like, okay, now we see, let's go, and more about let's just enjoy what is and trust that there are other things happening. Again, eclipse season, the Lionsgate portal, like all of this energy, it is changing. Things are changing. You don't need to be the sole driver of the change. There's so much pressure on us to figure it out. And I would be curious about that this week. I would be curious about that pressure. And I would, as much as you can, let yourself relax into not knowing, relax into the nonlinear, relax into the simple joy and pleasure of the sun versus that solar recharge quality that is just really present in a fire horse year, and I would imagine pretty activated right before we move into this eclipse season. So that's what I got for you for this week. The sun card, beautiful. I mean, no one's sad. No one's sad to see the sun. And, you can get sunburn. So just, that's what we're thinking about. We just want a little bit of balance, respecting that the sun and the moon are both here with us right now, especially this week. And the eclipse season is doing something. And this drive forward, this drive to have the answers to figure it out, you can burn out from that. And I'm experiencing that in my own life. I totally get it. I don't mean to say it like you're doing it, because I'm certainly doing it. And I have to kind of keep remembering there are other forces at play, and that sometimes the not knowing is exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay. I send you so much love. I promised there will be an August podcast. It's just late. Yeah. Say love you. I send you so much love. And I hope you get some really warm, nourishing, joyful time this week, because that's usually what the sun card is offering us. Okay, bye.